everybody, and welcome to another episode of Guys on Gaffr. My name is Joel, and unfortunately Abhishek cannot join us today. I think there's some, he said, festivities going on, probably some sort of festival or something going on in India today, but David is here, and yeah, how are you doing, David?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's nice to be back after what feels like ages. It's been I wasn't even on the pod before the international break, so it's been like over a month. But it's nice to be back again. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I realised that we hadn't even podded on the championship in October, so that's quite a while actually. We've had the international break where I was away for a week and stuff, and it's been quite a busy time I think for all of us. But yeah, we are back.
But at the same time, I don't feel like lots have happened until like the game starting this weekend again. So
yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's good to get back into it. I think also in the international breaks, my brain wants to switch off from fantasy quite a lot as well. I'd barely thought about fantasy until Friday.
I enjoyed not having to think about it actually.
But that's not to say I don't like fantasy football and I should like quit. I still love it when it comes around. It's just when the 2-week break comes, it's like.
Yeah, I think it's like needed actually, because it's good to have a break from it, even though you like it, because if you like it when it comes back, it's like better for some reason.
Exactly.
Yeah,
completely agree. Right, let's get into how we did in game week 12. Yeah, it was game week 12, wasn't it? David, your team's on the screen. It looks like you've had a decent week this week.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to see it actually, because I like saw some names from my team, but I actually had a very good week. And the reason I had a good week was like the transfers I made, because I think I went like plus 28 points on my 2 transfers.
Wow,
that's incredible. I sold Townsend for ranking Costello, and who did I sell for Sarah? I bought Sarah this week.
Nice.
Yeah, for Swift, because he was injured. So it's like, and I saw like people after I'd done the transfer, so it was probably a good thing that I didn't see the chat messages before or after, because I saw people like they were debating selling Sarah for like someone else. Like, I had just got him in, but yeah, turned out to be a good to transfer move.
So you'd clocked ranking Costello has been playing like a much more advanced role in midfield.
Yeah,
right?
I saw he was like doing something in the break, or like suddenly playing as a central mid or something. But so I was glad I got him in, and I also went vice captain Clark, and I didn't go captain Dewsbury Hall, even though I had it bust on him. But I saw some people talking about Adam Armstrong being a good pick this week, because he probably was, but he didn't get anything. And also the big thing for me was like, should I bench Rowe or Godden or Whittaker? But all of them got 2 points, so it didn't matter.
The bench points you managed to avoid this time. Well done.
Yeah, just 2 points on the bench. It's always a good week when you don't get bench points. So yeah, I got 90 minus 4 points. So I I got a green arrow for once. It's like I get like a green arrow, then a red arrow, green arrow. So I go like up and down. But so I've gone from 43rd to 127 to 87 now. So
cool.
It's a good trend, I guess.
Bounce back from a bad week last time then. That's good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. My team, 79 for me this week. My transfers were not good. I had 2 frees. I did Dan James and Godden to Schmodix and Bio, which I think was like a net of, they got like the same as the transfers out. It was a bit tricky because I was actually at the airport about to get on a flight, and I wasn't at that point. I didn't know whether the Rotherham Ipswich game was going to happen, and the move I was really, one of the biggest candidate moves that I had was Hladky and Godden to Chaplin and Hazard, but I didn't want to risk it in the end because I wasn't going to get the news before the deadline. So I got Bio in for a 1 week punt because he was home to Wednesday and he looked like he started coming into a bit of form, but he went off after half time, so not good. And then Schmodix obviously blanked as well, but he's very popular and he should still be a good pick, I think, so that's fine. And it's also a good job because Hazard got dropped for Plymouth as well, so I would have then been down to just Dieng and no backup keeper. So for now, I will be foregoing Chaplin, I think, and probably shipping on Bio quite quickly. So it's fine. The rest of the team did well. My midfield was brilliant, actually, apart from Schmodix. It's Somerville, Sarah, Dewsbury Hall, vice captain, and Clark captain. Pirot I actually benched, which was the risk. Since I played midfield dynamos, I've got 8 decent attackers. I've got 5 in midfield that are all kind of decent assets. And I thought Perot was probably the one to bench, but I was a little bit relieved when the Rotherham Ipswich game got called off, because I knew that then I would get Perot off the bench. Did blank, so it kind of indicated the decision. But yeah, he's a bit of a problem at the moment, Perot. He's not doing particularly well, both from a...
Is he starting, or is he just not doing well?
Nailed, but underlying data's not great at the moment, and obviously the returns aren't. Really, Wade want him to be for an 11 million striker. He's chipping away every now and again, but he's not great at the moment. So yeah. But yeah, Green Arrow up from 87th to 75th. So since we last podded, I've made quite good progress. Played my last 2 boosts. I was about 400 in the 400s last time we podded, and now 75th. So good progress has been made. I'm very pleased to be back in the top 100. Let's hopefully.
That's incredible.
Thanks. Hopefully stay in the top 100 for the boost reset, and then attack from there. We'll see. Cool. So we will start with we'll talk about a few different things, but we'll start with a bonus segment, because we last looked at bonus, I think it was after game week 4, so it was quite a small sample size, and obviously now we've got about a 11 or 12 game sample, which should give us a little bit more information now on which players are best for bonus, and any early season small sample size anomalies should be ironed out. The first thing I'm going to do is bring up this slide. So Kyle at Stuck Gaffr kindly offered to send a bit of data on the players that have the most bonus points without a return, which is quite interesting. I guess there's kind of 2 different types of player in this list. There's the players that are just really good for both returns and bonus, and then there's a few players that don't really get the returns, but they get the bonus. So,
yeah, I'm seeing like on the top here, like a player that I haven't like seen ever, I think.
Yeah. So I would not have predicted that Eccles would be the top for no return bonus points for Coventry, but he barely returns, right?
Yeah.
He's top. Dewsbury Hall's second with 12. Sarah has 11. That's the top 3. And then I guess some of the notable players that aren't really assets at the moment are like Seri 9, Tanner 9, Twine 9. Walker Peters 9 is interesting. I assume when he means no return, he means no attacking return as well. But I'm not sure. What the deal is with that.
Does that include the clean sheets or not?
We might have to check that with him.
Yeah,
we'll check that with him.
But I would think that it didn't include, because Townsend is also up there with 8.
Yeah, true.
But he hasn't played that much.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, how much is Eccles in Gaffr? Do you know?
He plays for Coventry.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's a cheap option. He's probably not, but
let's see. He is 5.6.
Yeah, 5.6. 49 points so far. Probably not an asset, is he? Probably not an asset, but it's interesting nonetheless.
It's cheap for a midfielder, though. That's the only thing.
Schro's better, isn't he?
But yeah, maybe not. Yeah, and cheaper.
Well, the other things to go into, I think, which should hopefully be useful as well, are just overall baseline bonus, because obviously, I mean, a lot of these players that are on that list, they also have return. I think you need to kind of balance out the returns with the bonus, I guess. And there'll be players that aren't appearing on that list because they return a lot. So like they're still good for bonus, but because they return a lot, they weren't on that list. I feel like I'm confusing things. But anyway, point is, I wanted to just show the baseline bonus per 90. So bear in mind minutes with this. It's per 90. So if a player has... So this is showing their rate at kind of accumulating baseline bonus points from defensive actions, key passes, shots on target, and dribbles per 90 minutes on the pitch. So if they do only play an hour or something, you do need to factor in that into whether you think the player's a good asset. Defenders, I guess the standouts, Leif Davis comes out on top at the moment. So this is ordered by a baseline bonus per 90, so no returns involved. This is just your defensive actions, key passes, shots, and target dribbles. 35 key passes from Leif Davis. That's 3.5 per game because he's had 10 90 minutes worth, which is a lot. I mean, everyone knows he's a great asset. If you don't have him, get him. Mumba coming out in second amongst defenders is quite good though. I didn't necessarily think that would be true. 40 defensive actions is quite good. 18 key passes, but the dribbles stands out to me. 23 successful dribbles, which is good. I think that's not top amongst defenders actually. Kyle Walker-Peters has 27 there, but he's second. Third is Ngakia, which is interesting. He's had 17 successful dribbles, but he's obviously not nailed, so that's the problem with him. And Callum Doyle, when he's back from injury, looks good. 40 defensive actions, with fewer minutes than others on that list because of his injury. So he looks like a good one. Any other names stand out to you on that list, David, when you look at the stats there?
Yeah, I see a player that I had maybe big expectations for, like Ryan Manning, but he's like done okay. Not like super awful, like we have probably like said, but yeah, he has done okay. But yeah, I don't have Davis, so I probably need to do something about that. I got like a week free from Ipswich Destruction because they didn't play. I've been like super late on. I think I just have a Ladke and have had this for a long time because I haven't had like space for the strikers for my Ipswich, but like I need to get at least one of them and Davis back in.
Yeah.
So
I probably should have put the minutes column on this. That would have been really helpful context for people. But anyway, never mind.
But it's like it's a bit crazy that Davis has like I think that's the lowest dribble count in the whole list. Just 2
key passes. It's all those key passes.
Yeah. So he doesn't get forward much, but he just like has good passing.
He just doesn't dribble. He just passes it and doesn't dribble too much, I guess. Yeah. Doesn't attempt
it's more effective. Like if you get the passes from any position that you are and don't have to dribble big past people to do it first, then that's a good thing, I guess.
I agree with you on Manning. I think he's done, like you say, okay, but I think we expected a bit more from him on key passes. So 2.1. I mean, that's 21. That's how many games he started? Like 11 or something. 10 or 11,
yeah.
It's like around 2 a game, which is fine, but it's not. I think we thought he would get more than that at the start of the season, and then he's not really done loads on the other kind of baseline actions. Whereas like someone like Pring has got 56 defensive actions, which is huge, and he's only got 14 key passes, but he's actually managing to outperform him. So yeah, that's defenders. Let's go on.
But does like the defensive actions actually impact bonus slots, or?
So you need 4 defensive actions. Yes, good point. 4 defensive actions gets you 1 baseline bonus, but you get 1 baseline bonus per key pass and 1 per shot on target. So obviously you need more defensive actions to actually impact it. And for dribbles, it's one baseline bonus for every 2 successful dribbles.
Right. So key passes are like the best to have lots of, even though you don't have the best defensive actions. Yeah. You want like a mix of those, I guess.
I think so. Yeah, key passes are the biggie for me.
The thing that I also see in this list is that Josh Key only has 11 key passes.
So dribbles are good for him.
Doesn't fit his name, but anyway, let's move on.
Cool. Okay. Midfielders. Now you notice the midfield numbers are slightly higher. So like the top is 5.8 versus the defenders like 4.9. So midfielders are generally a bit better. I need to caveat at this point, if you see some very important names missing, I am using FBref's position classifications, so there will be some errors, and there are quite a few midfielders on Gaffr that appear in the forwards list. So just bear with until you see both slides for mids and forwards, because there are some missing mids here. But Dewsbury Hall, unsurprisingly, very, very good, as we all thought. 38 key passes is great, but it's not the most key passes in the league. Sarah has that with 45. But I think what swings it in Dewsbury Hall's favour is 14 shots on target's pretty good, and 17 successful dribbles is decent as well. So he's quite the all-rounder. His key passes are really good, but he does the other stuff too. Whereas for Sarah, 45 key passes, more defensive actions actually, 45 defensive actions, but it's lower on the shots on target and dribbles than Dewsbury Hall.
What I see right away is that the guy you just brought in, Smodix, has the same amount of shots on target as Dewsbury Hall.
True. That is a good
So
spot.
if people bought him for did you look at the stats before you bought him, or was it just
I hadn't been able to update the spreadsheet, but I was trying to have a look and see, and I could tell he wasn't as good for bonus, but it's not awful. The fact he's on this list means he's not awful, so I thought it's probably a fine pick.
Another player that I also have seen in some teams that I didn't like, it wasn't on my radar, so is Finn Azaz. He's on number 4. And Morgan Rogers, I don't even know who that is, but
Rogers has been a bit of in and out of the team for Middlesbrough recently, so I think there's a low minutes caveat on him there. So I probably wouldn't put too much stock in that, but Azaz is a good point. Yeah, David, 26 key passes is good, and 16 successful dribbles, so both of those he's decent considering he's cheap and a Plymouth player. Yeah.
But which names are missing here that you think should be here that aren't because of FPREF?
I'll show you in a minute, but the one thing I do just want to mention, I just want a couple of other players to mention. Casey Palmer is coming out quite well, but obviously, so that means when he comes back from injury, I might be interested in him. He's obviously got much lower minutes because of his injury record. I think that's about it. Loser's okay, but not as good as people thought he'd be. Rowe's done okay for budget, but only 13 key passes, 9 shots on target. Yeah. Let's move on to the others then. Okay, moving on to forwards on FBref, but actually includes some midfielders. So Somerville comes out on top for baseline bonus per 90 in the whole game at the moment. And given his minutes are good, that means he's just a brilliant asset. He's played 8 90 minutes, so a bit less than some because he was injured for a few games at the start of the season. But 26 key passes in that time is over 3 a game, 21 successful dribbles and 12 shots on target. So he's quite an all-rounder across those 3 attacking kind of pillars of bonus. He's good at all of them. Espria surprises me. Again, I don't think he's nailed. That's the problem for Watford. But his numbers are very impressive too. 6.1 baseline bonus per 90 is really, really impressive. And then Broadhead, very, very good. And again, quite an all-rounder. 18 key passes, 10 shots on target, 12 dribbles. Anything else stand out to you, David?
Yeah, Bio isn't on the list, so that was a bit of a non-stats move for you. This is unusual.
It was a vibes move, David. It was a vibes move.
Yeah, I think I impacted that a bit with all my gifts and stuff, but yeah, sorry. But I'm glad we didn't buy him for our team in the end. Which was a real possibility at that point, but yeah. Another thing, it's a bit funny to me that Mumba is on the forward section.
Oh yeah, he's appeared twice.
So he's very offensive.
Yes.
Whitaker is also doing well, which isn't a surprise. Some pods ago we talked about him. He's doing well. Ken Sema is a bit surprising to me because he was my golden boy last season, but I can't see him doing much things now. But he's apparently doing well as well.
Minutes thing as well, though, because obviously only 8 key passes, 2 shots on target. Thing,
I don't like to see Sarber Thomas on the list, but that's just my preference. Is good that he does well, but yeah, it's like an enemy for me. Wes Burns, I think Alfred talked about a lot about him. Is he doing well as he's talking about it, or is it just the
returns aren't really there at the minute, but
no,
he's all right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many midfielders on this list.
Yeah, so few forwards.
Ruter's quite high up on the list, and I am very keen on him. Very keen on him. 26 key passes is good, along with 22 successful dribbles. Very, very good. Siriki Dembele, now he's back from injury. He's a dribbles monster. 23 successful dribbles from fewer minutes than a lot of people because of his injury. He probably missed 5 or 6 games, didn't he? So I still think he's a potentially great pick.
And Jack Clark has the most dribbles in this list, it looks like. 36.
Most in the game.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Isaiah Jones is interesting, actually, because he's now kind of regularly playing for Middlesbrough now. He seems to be first choice again, playing in the midfield.
He's back as well.
He's obviously a midfielder in the game now rather than a defender, which makes things a little tricky. I mean, if he was a defender, he'd be right straight in my team.
Yeah, I didn't actually notice that. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, hope this has been useful. And there have been a couple of players that you've spotted that may not have been on your radar, and also just, I guess, seeing some context around all the assets and that you might be thinking of selling. Just seeing where they are relative to each other hopefully helps you a little bit in some of your decisions moving forward. So yeah, feel free to kind of pause the video and digest the table if you would like. So yeah, that's the bonus section. Is there anything in particular that stood out to you there, David?
Yeah, it's like you see the stats and you like understand how they get so many points in Gaffr. It correlates, and that's a good thing. That it's not like the bonus system is rigged against the stats, but it's like in compliance with it, and that's a good thing. I think that some fancy games are a bit like biased towards certain stats, but this looks like it's a good thing. So yeah, well done to the Gaffr guys to make it stat based and not like just vibes, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess with certain players, you know that as soon as they get a return, you know they've got 3 or 4 bonus. If like your Clarks and your Dewsbury Halls, like a return, if they're not doing that well for bonus that game, the return is probably, like, a goal might be worth like 8 points, not just 5, because it's going to put them in the bonus. Like, it's huge.
But are there like some players that didn't show up on the list that get lots of returns but not as much bonus? Because in like some other games I played, it's like you can have yesterday it was in Norwegian Fantasy, the best player in the league got 4 assists and no bonus points. Does that happen, Gaffr?
That's mad. I mean, I didn't see Connor Chaplin in that list at all, which is interesting.
Yeah.
He's the
and
first.
Adam Armstrong wasn't there.
Yeah, Adam Armstrong. Yeah.
Are there any midfielders that didn't make it? Swift, I didn't see.
He was on there, but he wasn't that high up.
Yeah.
Fleming? Mavadidi wasn't on there.
Defenders. Pereira I didn't see, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Furlong, even though he does well. That's probably a minutes thing, but like,
I think those are important to note as well. They're almost just as important to note as the ones that are on the list. You can tell the players that actually aren't really doing much from that standpoint.
Yeah, because if those players that you have in your team, because they get lots of points, it's like you don't want to sell them because you feel like the returns keep coming. But if they are players that don't get bonus, even though they get returns, and others get similar returns but more bonus, you want those players even though they like seem to be doing a bit of the same. It's like it's harder to notice the difference in bonus than in points, because they are like a bit hidden if you don't like check every player. You just see like, oh, that's a 9, that's an 8. It's like the 1 point every week that makes a big difference. So you should probably look at the players more that get bonus and points, not just points. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think people will sell Chaplin just because it wasn't on the list, but like, yeah, it's something to monitor, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you're looking for. You're looking for obviously a blend of high kind of good underlying data and good bonus data, I guess, in terms of like XG and the bonus stuff. And then if you can get both, you've got a cracking asset. And if you've got just one of them, the bonus guys are kind of like reliable, they'll tick along, but you want bonus from them. You want returns from them ideally, because but you always have that safety net of bonus. And then you've got your players that probably have better XG, for example, and they're probably less reliable because you are relying on them to get that return. Otherwise, they're going to be getting 2 points every week. So, yeah.
And I think also it's very important for defenders because we see that we don't get like many clean sheets in this game. So you want the defenders that are getting bonus, even though they may not necessarily get both clean sheets or just one of them.
Yeah, it's given me an interesting thought about end of season strategy if you're chasing and you need to make up a ground of, let's say you're in second in Gaffr like someone was once, and you've got to you've got to make up. And it's just occurred to me that like who is a good punt? It's a player that is probably not great for bonus, but has really good like XG or something because like the ceiling's there, but they're not picked because they're less reliable. I don't know if that's a thought.
I love that self-burn. Those are rare.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's do that.
Having a look at the table, things are kind of taking shape a little bit now. But, like, Leicester and Ipswich are so far clear. Like, Leicester are 11 points clear of third, and Ipswich are 6 points clear of third, but have a game in hand. If they'd beaten Rotherham, which I think most of us expected them to, they would have been 9 points clear of third. And then you go between 3rd and 21st, there is just a 10-point gap between Leeds on 22 points and Plymouth on 12 points. So it's really tightly congested. And anyone who is between 3rd and 21st is kind of like, they could get into the playoffs at this point.
So crazy.
But yeah, I mean, there's been certain runs that have occurred, like Middlesbrough are back. It's very similar to last year where they started really poorly and then recovered. They're on 5 wins in a row. I guess let's touch on Middlesbrough briefly because I'm not really considering them for Gaffr, but should we be, do you think?
Yeah, doing well in real life often correlates to doing well in fantasy, so probably we should.
Yes, that's true.
It's like, that's what we base the game on, so... But I don't think I have had a Middlesbrough player apart from Dieng in my team all season.
I mean, certainly Dieng has become a fine asset now for all of us, all those who kind of held him. They have kept 3 clean sheets in a row, Middlesbrough, which is good, against Cardiff, Sunderland and Birmingham, although the red card in the Sunderland game is a big factor. I think just the thing is defensively, like Dieng is good, but the others are a bit expensive. And then in the midfield, the points are a bit spread round. And forwards as well. So it's tricky. Coburn at 5.9, their striker, I think he's recently become first choice. So it doesn't look like he's not scored many points in Gaffr. He's recently become first choice. Could be interesting, but I mean, this is the problem. Like they're clearly an informed team, but I just don't see any standout assets there, apart from maybe Isaiah Jones because he's come up well on the bonus. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I would gravitate towards McGree, but he's injured. So, Sam Greenwood, he's 6.9. He got the goal second last game, but I don't know how his stats are. He at least looks like he's starting. I didn't like notice that Jones was so expensive, 7.6.
Yeah, it's a lot. I've seen him in
like $1 million more for less defensive points.
Yeah. The starting 11 has changed quite a bit, I think, from the start of the season. I mean, if we compare kind of what they had against Birmingham, their front line was Jones, Crooks, Greenwood, and Coburn up top. Whereas if you kind of go back to the very start of the season in their first game against Millwall, they had a front four of Force, Crooks, McGree, and Rogers. It's completely different.
It's a bit weird that Force isn't playing because Coburn has just 1 goal in 9 games.
Yeah. Clearly something's clicking now though, so that, I guess, if we're going to assume the front 4 is maybe McGree when he comes back, but aside from that, you kind of Greenwood, Jones, and Coburn are probably in there.
You could probably assume that Coburn is a good team player. It's like probably a bit like Firmino type that not necessarily we notice because he has fancy returns, but it probably makes the team better in attack, and that's why starting over Force that we probably think was a bit better assets because he's proven in fantasy, but doesn't like always translate back into the real life games. I think that's a bit easy to forget when you play fantasy games, that some players are important for the team, but not necessarily getting tangible returns in like numbers.
Yeah, for sure. I think we should keep them on the watch list at the moment.
Yeah.
There's some potential value in these forwards, like Coburn being 5.9.
How about Crooks?
6.4, yeah. I mean, he's a walking yellow card, but you know, could be interesting. Could be interesting.
Yeah. It's like now it's like if we're going to get like a positive return from having Middlesbrough players, it's probably now that no one has them that we should get on. But like, problem is who to get. It's like hard to say.
How many Leicester players do you have, David? Moving on from Middlesbrough.
Let's check. I think 0. Let's see. No, 1.
Surely you got Dewsbury Hall, right?
Yeah. I had Mavididi. He was like my boy at some point, but I got rid of him when he decided to do well. Thanks, Joel. But
but since then, he's not been doing very well because remember, he's started getting easier fixtures, so then he started doing badly because remember that the harder the fixture, the better he is. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the weird thing about him. But yeah, I think in the long run, it was a good advice. So yeah. I won't blame you too much about it. But like, yeah, who do I even get from Leicester? Vardy, Pereira, no.
I'm just thinking, they've only conceded 7 goals all season. They've taken 33 out of a possible 36 points, and most of us just have Dewsbury Hall. And should we have more?
Who is he assisting all those goals?
Many people. Many people.
Yeah, because they rotate a lot, don't they? Who's their starting striker? Is it not Iheanacho Vardy?
They keep rotating them, and then
every game.
Yeah. Like Vardy started some, Iheanacho started some, and then one will come off for the other. With 20 or 30 minutes to go. So that makes them no goes. Otherwise, they would be good. I mean, if you combine the points of Iheanacho and Vardy together, they've got 105 points. There's 2 different. So imagine, and normally there's only one of them on the pitch at any one time. So if they if they had just one striker that played most of the minutes, I think they would be pretty much essential. Dewsbury Hall.
We should like have both of them, so we just get all the points.
Yeah.
But they're so expensive. 10 million for Vardy and 11.4 for Nacho.
They're too expensive.
Yeah.
Dewsbury Hall's hit over 100 points. Just noticed.
That's insane. So early in the season.
12 game weeks. Huge.
How many game weeks is there? 40?
46.
He can get like a new points record at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what the record is. 300 probably.
Does it beat Tony or Mitrovic? Probably not.
I don't know. But I mean, I look at them and I think I should be on another I should be on a defender, and I'm not. Mm-hmm. 7 goals conceded in 12 games is really good, really, really good. And maybe I need to adjust that and get Pereira in at some point if he's not. I mean, he's only got 61 points. Like, it's fine, it's good, but it's not essential.
Yeah, do we like need him? Because I think people had FOMO for him because they think he will get lots of attacking returns, but could we just go like for one of the center backs and get all the clean sheet points instead? I think Faz is a bit like yellow card Magnus, but Vestergaard got the goal this week from a header probably.
I don't know when Doyle's back. When Doyle's back, he's the one I think because he was good. He was good for bonus.
Yeah.
But he's still injured.
Who does he replace now? Like Wings and Didi probably stay. Ishak, who is that?
I think Doyle would.
That's a new guy I haven't seen.
In the back. I think
there's a guy that played and got a goal this week.
Yeah, that's Fatawu.
Who
played instead of thingy McAteer. Who's injured.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
McAteer's only 6 and he could be all right, but I think he's a bit rotation prone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Manchester City. They play the best football and they get the most goals, but you never have the players that get it because they're rotation prone. Apart from Kevin Dewsbury Hall.
Kevin de Dewsbury Hall.
Kevin!
Yeah.
He's too good. 7.9. How did they mess that up?
The problem with getting a defender in for me is I've been trying to avoid defender transfers where possible. I've been hardly doing any because I've just been seeing that there aren't explosive defenders this year. There are some consistent ones, but like I've just looked at my game week 1 defence. Racking, Costello, Key, Manning, Davis, Kakai. And my current defence is Davis, Key, Kakai, Manning, and who's the other one? I've just gone blank. I need to go back to it now. Ballard, of course, yeah. So my defence from game week 1 is exactly the same apart from Ballard, except instead of ranking Costello, and there's an argument to go back to ranking Costello and be back exactly where I started with at the start of the season.
Yeah. I think mine has changed a lot actually, but not in a good way.
And with it being
like
early,
two of mine.
with it being early season, I just haven't seen the value in defender transfers when there are probably, my defense is probably not the optimal defense, but I'll probably get more points from making sure my attack is right. Yeah.
My defenders are Ranky Costello, Da Silva, Mumba, Delgado, and Ashby, and those are like stuck on the bench because I heard that Delgado was injured now. But one of those probably goes for Davis now. But then I get the benching headache again, which I'm not as excited about, but probably has to happen anyway.
Yeah.
I'll just check my game week 1 defense and see how bad it was. But let's see. I had Ashby, Manning, Mumba, Davis, who's gone now, and Castagna. I was one of those people, cool people that started with Castagna in case he could just played, but he didn't and lost lots of value. So that was stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Next thing then. Let's talk Leeds for a second because they're interesting. They've got 4 wins in 5. They're looking quite good at the moment. What's your favourite Leeds triple up? Like, I guess there's some good assets, but if you were to pick 3, I guess, let's rank them. Rank their attacking assets. So we've got James, Somerville, Pirro and Rutter, and maybe you could make an argument for Nonto now he came back off the bench. How would you rank them?
I would say Somerville, Rutter. Third one's a bit different, but if he just keeps starting and Nonto isn't starting, probably James, because Pirro just seems off it. But
because they've got a decent run of fixtures coming up. Stoke away, Huddersfield at home, Leicester away is tough, and they've got Plymouth, Rotherham, Swansea.
Yeah.
After that,
I feel like I need one more attacker from them maybe because I just have one.
You just have Somerville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rutter maybe.
The reason I sold Dan James this week, well, one of the reasons, was because it opened up the move to get Rutter in for Bio if the Bio punt failed, which it has. Because I was already on 3. And I felt that Dan James, like comparing Dan James and Somerville, they're both good assets. I do still think Dan James is fine if you've got him. But I noticed in terms of the underlying data, James was a lot better for the expected assists than the expected goals, and he's already not a great finisher anyway. So I just felt for goal threat, Somerville was the one. I would say Somerville top, Rutter second, James or Pirro third. It is a tricky one. I'll say Dan James because I think his bonus is better and his expected assists are good, and then I'll say Pirro.
Yeah.
Which
thing is though, like I'm just looking at this week's subs in and who got subbed out for who, and I don't know, was it Bamford got and Nonto got subbed in at the same time, so I don't know who they got subbed in for. I can just check that actually, but Jaden Anthony came on for Dan James and Nonto in for Sam Byram. How does that happen?
They were chasing the game.
Yeah, Bamford got on FootMob. It just says he got subbed in, and it doesn't say for who.
Oh, that's helpful.
So I would probably assume it was Kamara.
Yeah.
So they didn't take Pirro or Rutter out for Bamford somehow.
Yeah, but they were chasing the game. So
took Pirro out for Ailing.
Yeah, but that's at the end, very end.
Yeah.
We do need to be wary of rotation now. With Bamford back from injury and Nonto back from injury, we do have to be wary of that. I suspect Somerville and Rutter are probably still fine. Rutter's been really good, really, really good.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy Pirro or James just because they are probably the ones that go. I think if they're doing badly in the game, they are more likely to get subbed out. And for example, Somerville that got a 9.4 rating and 2 goals.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about Somerville. It's probably just good that he gets rest sometimes so he doesn't get injured or something. If they're winning a game by like 2 goals.
Somerville should be more highly owned than he is. I think he's reasonably highly owned now, but like, I think there's still quite a few people who don't have him. I think he's potentially not got as many returns as he could have so far, and is a great asset. But Perot,
he's only on 12%, and that's like probably not all active players.
No, but... yeah. Actually, I'm not going to. I was going to ask you, should I sell Perot, but I've just remembered it's one of the questions that we've got, so I'm not going to. We'll address that later. We'll address that question later. Is there anything else you want to talk about, David?
Leeds. Are there any defenders that we need to have? They seem a bit like nailed all of them, I guess. It's not like lots of changes, I guess.
Yeah, injuries have played a part with Ayling and Spence and stuff. Yeah. They are third best in the league for expected goals against, so they are decent defensively.
Is Struik the most nailed defender they have? Probably. He always plays 90, but he's not like... Yeah. I don't know how his numbers are. I don't think he was on the list, was he?
He won't be good for bonus. He's 5.5 though, and he is their highest scoring defender, so maybe...
That's pretty cheap for a Leeds defender, you think?
Yeah. That's viable, isn't it?
Yeah. If you don't want Ayling, you can get him.
Yeah. I won't go there because I'm going to probably buy Rutter and have the triple attack, but if you wanted Struik, go for it. That's not bad, 5.5 for him.
Yeah, like looking at previous seasons where you had to pay like 6.5 for a Middlesbrough defender, 5.5 for Leeds isn't bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though he's a centre back.
Yeah,
something to think about anyway.
Yeah, I've got a couple of other just little snippets of stats to mention. I think one is that Coventry are actually second best in the league for expected goals against. Conceded 14 for an expected goals against of 11. And I've definitely not considered their defenders at all, but I know people are on De Silva, so he's obviously a good option.
Yeah, I have him. And I probably will keep him then.
Yeah, definitely do.
Yeah.
Watford are slightly underperforming their expected goals against as well. 16 goals conceded from an XGA of 12.5, which is 5th best in the league, which is interesting. Watford doing okay defensively. Considering they're 19th in the table, I think their attack is the problem there. Anything else from a defensive standpoint? You're not massively overperforming. Not really. I mean, Norwich are third worst for expected goals against. If you've got Stacey, not convinced. Not convinced by that at all. Southampton's still not coming out great on defensive data. And Blackburn too, 18 expected goals against, and that's the 6th worst in the league. So just a word of warning if you're on ranking Costello, but I guess you're looking at the attacking threat and potential bonus from him. And actually, Sheffield Wednesday have improved defensively. I think last time I looked at the table, they were down the bottom in terms of expected goals against. They're actually firmly mid-table at the moment, which is interesting. But their attack is woeful.
Yeah, that seems like to be a trend with lots of the clubs that are doing bad. They are good defensively, but they don't score enough goals to win games. Even though they can like get lots of draws, but it doesn't help.
Yeah, in terms of attack-wise, XG, Leicester top, Middlesbrough second, so stuff is really starting to happen. I think maybe they were a bit unlucky at the start of the season not to get more points than they did. Blackburn are 4th, Ipswich 3rd. So Blackburn, the story for Blackburn is they're good in attack but not great defensively. So Schmodik's good option. Yeah. And just trying to see if there's anything else that's notable. I can't see anything else that's notable. Norwich are overperforming their XG by 4 goals. So they're overperforming quite a bit. Ipswich are overperforming their expected goals by 5 goals. 25 goals for next year, 20.
Oh.
But good finishers, I guess. Good finishers. Yeah, that's about it. Is there anything else you want to talk about, David, before we do questions?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Let's do questions. Go for it.
Right. We got 2 questions this time, if there hasn't come any after we started. But can take the first one. Pemberton FC, thank you for having the competition. Very enjoyable, even though I'm firmly losing. I got the best score this week and won my game, but I'm still like third to last. So yeah, good times. He asks, who is the one player you haven't owned all season? I think that you wished you had.
I've got 2, and I can't decide which one to say. I should only say one, shouldn't I, David?
Say both. It's our pod. You can do what you want.
Oh, okay. Rutter and Chaplin are the 2 that I probably wish I had. I've not owned them yet. What about you?
Probably similar. I will say Chaplin also, because somehow I haven't had him in my team. And also Broadhead, not him either.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't had I don't think I've had an Ipswich striker all season. That's so stupid.
Well, you've been going for Plymouth, haven't you, with Whittaker? Who's a good pick, to be fair.
Yeah, and I also have Godden. But
yeah, that went badly for us, didn't it?
Yeah, I did.
Choice.
Yeah, that's like the main ones, I guess. If I look at defenders, I've probably had it's not like lots to lose out on, but I think I've gotten the ones midfielders and strikers apart from Ipswich right. But yeah, those are definitely the ones that I have missed most. Those from Ipswich.
Walker Peters is looking good at the moment as well. But I doubt I'm going to get onto him at any point.
That's interesting.
He's getting quite a few assists.
Ooh. Yeah, I think those are the ones we talked about. Right, so next question from Jordan XFPL Mastro X on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. I probably still say Twitter out of like just that's the thing I used to say. He asks, is Jordan is Perot a must sell? I'm not sure he is with decent fixtures short term. I don't have Adam Armstrong, so I may get him in.
I mean, the short answer is no, he's not a must sell, but he's you could sell. What do you think?
Yeah, I can agree with that. He still plays for Leeds and gets starts. He just needs to turn around. It's not like he's getting rotated from the start and stuff. So if you have other fires to put out, I don't think he's a must sell, but it depends on who you have instead, who you have him instead of. Like if you have both Pirro and Armstrong, I think you're fine. But if you don't have Armstrong, it's a bit worse. But yeah, I mean, I think it's expensive.
Rutter is better, and if you have a spare transfer and you don't have any other fires, that's a good move, I would say.
Yeah, because I want Rutter, but I don't have like an easy route to him. And if I had Pirro, I would just do the sideways swap right away because it's so easy. You don't need to take a hit for it even.
Yeah, the thing is, like you said, the fixtures are good. Armstrong's fixtures are good, but would you? I probably wouldn't move to Armstrong if I was to move to anyone, to be honest.
No, I would rather go to Rutter instead.
Yeah. Who
just
else?
Have a lead striker. It also depends if he has some will, I guess. Because if you don't have some will and just have Pirro, then you're missing out, I think.
Yeah, his underlying data is still it's okay, Pirro, from an XG point of view, but it's not as good as it could be for his price, and there are better, potentially better options. I mean, yeah.
One thing is he plays in his like preferred position, I guess. He's not like a He's like not the top of the the lineup striker. He's like a more center forward thing. So could do well, but he's not doing it right now. But that doesn't mean he can turn around.
Yeah.
He focused a lot on form in these games, but like most times it's not like always a thing. So he can just like suddenly turn around if he gets the chances. He doesn't need to have a perfect game to get 100% chance and score a goal. So doesn't always correlate.
I think the other factor is there's not that many strikers that are putting their hand up as replacements anyway. I think obviously the standout strikers at the moment are your Broadhead, Chaplin, and probably Rutter. They're probably the best three in the game at the moment. The rest of them, there are good options, but there aren't any that, you know, really excite you and stuff. So like, you know, Adams is playing for Southampton, but he's not really a great option. The Iheanacho and Vardy rotation's a huge problem.
Yeah.
The Plymouth strikers are great. Hardy's iffy at the moment. Whittaker's good. Like, you could maybe make an argument that are they better than Pirro just as an option? I find it hard to believe. But they do look good. I think if a striker emerges as a really good option, then the need to sell Pirro becomes a lot greater. But there's no one stand out at the minute.
Yeah.
And budget's not an issue for most of us either.
No, it never is, to be honest.
Yeah. Cool. Is that it for questions? Did we get any others through?
No, we did not.
Cool. Let's then go on to our plans for this week. So, David, your team is on the screen. Midweek games. Deadline is Tuesday. Early thoughts?
I always get called out about. I just think midweek games should be on Wednesdays because that's midweek. But like Tuesdays, like, why do you do this to us? But yeah, I don't know. I have one free transfer and 4.3 million in the bank, so I could like get a good striker for Godden. Actually, I can get Rutter in one move. I didn't notice that. I might just do that. But he plays Rotherham. So it could be like one last chance.
That's the classic thing, like holding a bad asset because they've got a good fixture, or do you sell them? It's so tricky. That's me with Man United assets in FPL.
And then like next week, someone get injured and you just never get rid. So best thing is probably to just do it. And I feel like I'm closing in on like the template forward line, which I don't know if that's a good thing. Like I'm only missing like Rutter and Chaplin, and then I have like the star frame. But like, is it a good thing to have the template now? Are they that good that you just can't go without them and just have to make points up in defense, which aren't getting much point? It's like, can you only have one striker that's like making you points that the others don't have? Which points in the team are like the differential points at this point?
I mean, it's getting the attack right. Like I say, I think that there's not enough of a difference between defenders for it to be massive. There's like so many defenders within 20 points of each other, for example, between 50 on the first page. Like, whereas on the first page of mids, it's a much bigger gap. The variance is a lot bigger, and similarly with the forwards, I think it's those are the positions to get right.
Yeah. I think I won't change my midfielder for a long time because I have Samuel, Sara, Dewsbury Hall and Clark and Rowe on the bench in case.
It's the template midfield, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And Armstrong, Godden, Whittaker. I feel Whittaker can still come good, so I'm probably keeping. But Godden is on. Probably not that safe in my team at the moment. My defense is not good. Actually, my transfer this week will probably be Davis. Actually,
yes,
it's like a Davis-shaped hole in my team at the moment. So
Ashby can go, can't he? For Davis, hopefully.
Yeah, he's still not doing anything. Yeah, I think so. So I haven't changed my captains, I see, but yeah, Preston aren't doing that well. So Adam Armstrong is probably an option for me. Do you think the Stoke Leeds game can give points to Somerville? Or
yeah, he might be my captain. Not sure yet, but
yeah, because like Leicester and Sunderland are facing each other, so it could like be weak to swerve both of them.
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall's the other one who I could captain. I need to check Sunderland's defensive data, but I suspect it might not be that great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mid-table, and Leicester at home, so could do.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's my team anyway.
Cool. My team. Yeah, happy with how it's looking. I could roll because I've got and play this 3-5-2 and bench Bio. But I suspect I should get Rutter instead for Bio and bench Schmodix. I am opening up myself to bench points, but I just think Rutter is that good that he's worth buying at this point, and the value of getting him is probably slightly better than the value of a free transfer in terms of rolling. Yeah. I don't know, not decided yet, but that's where I'm leaning. I guess the option is Perot to Rutter, but I think the longer I keep Bio, the more of a problem he'll be. So actually, I think maybe Bio should go. Yeah, but yeah, captaincy. Yeah, Dewsbury Hall or Somerville. One will be captain, the other will be vice. I think. I might consider Rutter if I get him as well for the armband too. To be fair, because he's looking great for minutes at the moment. So yeah, he's a potential option. But yeah, happy with the team actually at the moment. Yeah, still got the double Ipswich at the back there. And Key and Manning are the other two defenders starting at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how much rotation strikes.
Who's your other Ipswich defender? Is it Clark or something?
Sorry, when I say defense, I mean Hladky as my other one.
Okay. Because I see some people they talk about, I have Clark vice captain, and then they're supposed to screenshot with Ipswich Clark. Is that a thing?
There is a Clark, yes. There's a Clark for.
But is he good?
Ipswich. He's not Leif Davis. I think a couple of people got him when Leif Davis got injured.
Ah.
Yeah.
So is he nailed him?
I think so. So. But he's not. He's not. He's a viable asset, but when Ipswich slots are so valuable, don't get him.
No.
Yeah. Cool. That is it. Any final things you want to say, David, before we wrap up?
Don't forget the midweek deadline. That's the most important thing I can say, because I would probably need to hear that myself as well.
Yes.
We got to say about the cup we are running, but I think we're doing well.
We are currently, we were top before the weekend, but I'm not sure where we are now. We finished last this weekend, so we may have been knocked off our perch. I don't know. I need to check.
Okay.
Community team won this week. They played triple. They had a monster triple. They got 130 points. Game week rank of 3.
Really?
They tripled on Sarah, Dewsbury Hall, and Clark. Well done.
GG, guys.
Well done, community. That's big. That's a really good.
Have we ever got a top 3 game week rank with a community team?
Probably not. No.
That has to be the best one we had all the time we were on the competition.
Yeah,
incredible.
There's one regret I have. It's playing my triple in game week 5. I remember I was saying to myself so much play triple when you know who the best assets are. Although I did play it on good assets though. So people that are good assets now. Anyway, EFL Fantasy came second, so they may have caught up to us now. The problem is we've got no boosts left, so we're in a bit of bother before the reset. But we have a cushion. We got points on the board. You know, we were top. May still be top.
But yeah, well done, people. You are good at voting.
Top of the Felix Memorial Cup at the moment is FPL Trini. He is overall rank of 12. Wow. I know last year we had the overall winner, didn't we? In our league, but not this year. And then Tom.
Still time.
Yeah, still time.
But actually, probably we shouldn't say that, because you can actually win the cup without winning the overall. So
yes,
if you're listening and you're top, you can join if you want to. But other people will get pushed down.
Yeah. And then Tom, community team guy, is second. 13th overall ranks. He's having a very good season. Kyle's also having a really good season, but he dropped from 3rd to 18th in 1 week this week.
Oh, no.
So he was top of our league, but he is no longer after a tough game week this week. But yeah, so that's how that's going. We need to decide on our prize, don't we, David?
Yeah, we do. I think we thought about something, but it kind of didn't work out. So we will have to look into it more.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. It would have been very cool, but since it didn't happen, we won't say it.
We could do the same as last year. I think that went well, didn't it, with your Twitter
yeah,
header thing?
Yeah, I guess. If Twitter even is a thing when the season ends.
If it's possible to have it for free.
Yeah, or if all Europeans don't get kicked out.
No.
Yeah, let's hope so. It's still usable.
What we're all going to do as a fantasy football community without it, eh? What would we do?
Move on the blue sky thing. We just have to invite each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope that Twitter or X or whatever just works a bit more.
Yes. Cool. All right. Well, take care, everyone. Have a good week. Hope game week 13 goes well. And yeah, we'll be back podding very, very soon. So it's goodbye from me.
Ha det bra. That was something.
It feels wrong not having him here.
It feels wrong.
Finish the pod like that.